So hello everybody, welcome to the video series on Introduction to Writing User Material Subroutines for Elastoplastic Applications in ABAQUS. I am Vikram Balaji, a PhD research student from the Department of Mechanical Engineering at IIT Madras. Before going into seeing what is a user material subroutine, which is also shortly called as UMAT, we need to firstly ensure that the system, that is the laptop or the desktop which we are working in, has the required prerequisite softwares installed so that we can able to implement user material subroutines in ABAQUS. So in this video, we are particularly going to see the same. So let us go into the video. So here I have listed the softwares which are needed to be installed. So first we have ABAQUS CAE. Apart from that, we need two more softwares. One is the Microsoft Visual Studio and other is your Intel Fortran compiler. This Intel Fortran compiler comes as a part of the Intel One API HPC toolkit, which is a high performance computing toolkit. So what I recommend is that the softwares listed here are installed in the same order as listed. So that which means first you install ABAQUS and then you go for installing Microsoft Visual Studio and then you install the compiler. Even otherwise, one needs to ensure that one installs the Microsoft Visual Studio before installing the Intel Fortran compiler. So whether you install ABAQUS CAE before these two softwares or after these two softwares, that's up to you. So this is the order which I recommend. So let us go further. So as far as ABAQUS is concerned, if you are not an IIT Madras student, so you need to ensure that you have installed the licensed version of ABAQUS software, which is either sponsored by your organization, or you can personally purchase the license for ABAQUS from the ABAQUS website. So if you are an IIT Madras student, we have a department called as HPC, which is called as High Performance Computing Environment. So this HPC provides licenses for students or faculty to work upon ABAQUS. So we are now going to see how to install ABAQUS from the HPC licensed version. So this is available in both Windows and Linux operating systems. I am going to particularly focus on Windows because I extensively use Windows. So first, we need to go to the website which is mentioned here, which is the HPC website. So if I click on it, I will be redirected to the website. So this is the High Performance Computing Environment website, which is a part of the PG Senapati Center. So you need to log in with the LDAP credentials. So here there is a provision for login. You should click on it and we should type our roll number. So my roll number ME18D703 and then password. So I click on login. So I am now signed into the HPC website. Further, what I need to do, I need to click on commercial software and then I need to click on download ABAQUS. So here I have this provision for commercial software, which I am going to click. And then we have various softwares listed here, which are part of the HPC environment. So I am going to click on ABAQUS. So once you click on ABAQUS, you see that you are redirected to a link which contains different versions of ABAQUS. So I'm already logged in into Google through my Smail ID. So I'm directly redirected to this link. So here you can see I have ABAQUS 2021, you have ABAQUS 2019, you have ABAQUS 6.14. So I recommend that you go for the latest software available. So if you open 2021, you see that you have 5 files, which are nothing but tar files. And if you go back once, you see you have various Word files. So if you click on one, you can see that some instructions are listed. So these are the instructions which you need to follow. So going back to the presentation, so as mentioned here, so download the relevant version of ABAQUS along with the installation instructions document. Follow the instructions given in the document and install the software. So if you go next, so we need to do one thing before starting the installation of ABAQUS. So first we need to register for the ABAQUS license in the license requisition website. So if you click here, so this is another website which is the license requisition form. So here you need to enter your different details. So you need to enter your name, your roll number, your email ID, your mobile number, your department, and then you need to select what are the softwares which you need. So you can select standard ABAQUS and MATLAB, and you need to provide your supervisor's name here, and you need to provide your machine's host name here, MAC address and its corresponding IP address. So how to obtain this machine's host name and the MAC address are provided here. So you can see this note to get how to get the MAC address and the host name. So once you fill this form and you give the submit, then the request will be processed in due time, so that you will be able to get the license. So this is the first step you need to do before even installing ABAQUS. The second step you need to do is, once your license requisition has been done, so you need to go to the host file to include the IATM license server. So for example, you need to go to the open notepad and run it as an administrator. So I will open it for you. So I will enter notepad. So I right click on this, click run as administrator. So click yes. So here you can see that I have an open notepad. So what you need to do further, you have to go to this following path. So C drive, Windows, System32, drivers, etc. Select file type as all and then open the host file. So I go to file, I'll go to open. So already this file location is here. So it is nothing but C drive, Windows, System32, drivers and etc. So here I have to go to file type and mention as all. So here the first you have something called the host. So you need to open this. So this is the host file which is opened in Notepad. So what you need to do is you need to add the following line in the last and save the file. So this is a server number which is given 10.24.0.171. Then you have to leave a space and then type this cclicserver.iatm.ac.in, then again space and then type Leo. So you have to copy this and paste it in the last line of your host file. I've already done this here. So I've entered this server number, left a space, then this website, then the space, and then Leo. So you have to save this file and then close it. So I'll just close it now. So this is the first thing you need to do even before starting to install. So once this is done, so you have to go for the installation. So as I showed here, you saw that there are some 5 files which are there. So you need to download all the file, and as mentioned in the instruction here, so you need to create a new folder and move all the tar files to the newly created folder. Select all the tar files and then extract the tar files to the single folder. So once you go to that folder, you have to click the setup file, right click and run it as an administrator. So since I've already installed, I will just go through the particular snapshots. So here you can see that once you have started to run the setup file, so first it will ask is what are the products, established products which need to install. So you need to select the extended product documentation, Simulia established products, and the Simulia established products CAA API. So you have to select these 3 and click the next. And while installing the documentation, it will ask what are the components you need to install. So at that time, you need to give ABAQUS CAE, Simulia execution engine, and Simulia execution engine station. So once this is done, so a pop-up will appear whether you need to search using EXA-lid for the documentation engine. So in this, it will be default ticked. So you have to untick this and then give the next. So unselect the search using EXA-lid and then give next and install the documentation. So once the documentation is installed, then you are going to the installation of the established products. Under the established products, you need to select these following products, which is ABAQUS Standard Solver, ABAQUS Explicit Solver, Post-Simulation Services, ABAQUS ODB API Services, ABAQUS CAE, and ABAQUS Samples. So select all this and give the next. So next you will get license server configuration. So as I have mentioned to you previously, we have applied the license to the license requisition form, and we have edited the host file to include the server. So if you give about some time for the license to be accepted, maybe around half day or 1 day, the HPC may take. So after that, this license server configuration, you need to select the Simulia FlexNet. So one thing is, ensure that you start this installation around half day after your half day or maybe 1 day, one working day after you have given the license requisition form, because there may the HPC may take some time to approve the license. So in this step, you have to select the Simulia FlexNet and give next. So here it will ask the license server. So license server 1, you have to give cc server.iitm.ac.in and then give next. After this, your products will be installed. So this is about installation of ABAQUS. So next software which needs to be installed is the Microsoft Visual Studio. So as far as Microsoft Visual Studio is concerned, we have a free version that is available online. So I have mentioned the website here. You can go to it. So click on this website. You are redirected to the downloads of Visual Studio. Here there is a free download available for the community, Visual Studio 2022 community. So if you click the free download, automatically you can see that your file starts to download Visual Studio setup. This is the exe file. So going back to the presentation, so download the latest free version of the Visual Studio community, which is 2022. So once the setup file is downloaded, click to install the Visual Studio installer. So once this download is completed, I'll go to the download path. So here I can see that there is a Visual Studio setup. So I need to click on this. So it will ask to install the Visual Studio installer. So you need to install this. Since I have already installed Visual Studio, I'm going to close this. So you just follow the instructions which are given. So after you download it, you have to launch the installer and choose the desktop development with C++. This I will able to show you. So once your Visual Studio is launched, so Visual Studio installer. So if you search Visual Studio here, you have two things. One is the app which I have already installed. Another is the installer. So once you are in the process of installation, once you have downloaded the file and run that file, you will have this Visual Studio installer. So you need to click on this. So here in the Visual Studio installer, since I have already installed, I'll just go to modify and show what needs to be done. So here what we need to do is, there is an option web and cloud, and there is something called desktop and mobile, and then there is gaming and other two sets. So we have to go for the desktop and mobile tool set, and in that we need to select the desktop development with C++. So for you, unselect it and select now. So these are the default which are selected. Since I've already installed this, I have the total space required to be 0 bytes. So if I go here, I have included the picture. So you can see that if I click the desktop development with C++ while installing, it showed space required of about 9.27 GB. So you have to click on the install button here and let this software install. So this is about Microsoft Visual Studio. So last thing is, we need to install the Intel Fortran compiler. So once again, like your Visual Studio, this is also available to download for free from online. So I have mentioned the website here. I will just click on this website. I'll close this. So this is Intel Fortran compiler website. So here you have two options. Download as a part of a toolkit, download the standalone version. So we will install the standalone version. I have already installed, just I am telling how to install. So select the standalone version and choose the file to download based on the operating system and the type of installer. So So here there are many options available based on your operating system and the installer type. So for example, if you look at for Linux itself, there is an online installer and there is an offline installer. So I recommend to go for offline installer, since online installer sometimes may get disrupted if your internet connection is not good enough. So I recommend to go for the offline installer. And since I'm operating in Windows, I also recommend others also who are following this this video series to go for the Windows option. So once you click here, again this will also start to download. So this is a fairly huge file, is 619 MB. So let me cancel this for the time being since I have already installed it. So I'm just telling you the process. So this is the way for downloading. So once you download, you can go to the download, you can see that this compiler file is already there. You have to just click on this and follow the instructions for installation. So further, once this all the three softwares are installed, so one thing we need to do in the last is we have to link the ABAQUS and the Intel Fortran compiler. So why we need to do is, so if you don't link a compiler with the ABAQUS, so whatever subroutine you write, which is basically going to be in the Fortran background, we cannot expect ABAQUS to understand it as it is. So it needs a compiler so that it can understand the Fortran language and then interpret it, and then accordingly take the inputs from the ABAQUS or give the inputs to the ABAQUS. So this interaction between ABAQUS and Intel Fortran compiler is enabled through this linking. So this is one important step. So here I will be explaining how to link ABAQUS and Intel Fortran compiler. So after installing all the three softwares, so what we need to do now is we have to search for the following two files. So there is one file called vars.bat, which is listed in this particular path, and another is vcvar64.bat, which is listed in this path. So people who are following my video series, I also recommend you to exactly go for the same versions. So here this is 2023 version, and here Visual Studio is 2022. So these are the latest. So if I go to the desktop, so I will go to C now. So here Intel first I'll go Intel sorry, programs file 86 first, and then here I will go for the Intel and go for the one API, then compiler, the 2023 environment. So if I go into environment, you have this vars.bat. So if you see this is the path. You just copy this path. Now what you need to do is you need to include this path in the environment variables. For that we need to go to the environment variables. So I type environment variables. So here you have the edit the system environment variables. Click on that. So click on this environment variables. So here there is something called path. This is, so here user variables and here is the system variables. So go to the system variables below and there will be something called as path. Click on that and click the edit. So here what you need to do is you would have copied this path, right? So that you have to go and paste it here. So I have already done this. So this is the path. So you have to click new and paste here. So for example, you have to click new and you have to paste it like this. So since I've already done, I will leave it. So thing you have to do is you have to edit this path and copy and paste the path here and give the OK. So after that, next we need to do is similarly, we have another file. This was related to the Fortran compiler. This is related to Visual Studio. So you have to go to the C program files, Visual Studio 2022 community VC auxiliary build. So again, I'm going to go for the C drive program files. Here there will be Microsoft Visual Studio will be there. Go for 2022 community. We have to go for the VC, I think. Yes, it's VC, auxiliary, and build. So you have the VC var 64.bat. So again, you have to copy this and go to the environment variables, go to the path, give the edit, click the new, copy paste it, and click OK, and then come back. So we have now added the environment variables. This also I will close. So here I would have just added the pictures. So here I have go to the path, click the edit, and click new, and then I have added the two paths which I have mentioned. So after this, next we need to go to the add the path of vars.bat. So just now we saw the vars.bat path. So that path we need to add to the target in ABAQUS CAE, ABAQUS command, and ABAQUS verification. So I will demonstrate this now. So again, I will close this. I will go to the search bar and just type ABAQUS CAE. So once ABAQUS install, you will get this. So I'm going to right click and go to open the file location. Okay. So once I here, you have these various ABAQUS targets. So here CAE is there, command, documentation, licensing, verification, viewer, and support. So as mentioned in the presentation, we need to edit the target path in ABAQUS CAE, ABAQUS command, and ABAQUS verification. So I'm going to go to ABAQUS CAE, click the properties, right click, click properties. So here you will have already something. So you have to add another thing over here. So if you see, when you have newly installed ABAQUS, so this portion which I am highlighted will not be here, will not be there. So if I just going to remove it, so this is what you will have in your target. So additionally, you need to add this. So how we are going to add this means I have mentioned here. So this is the exactly the red thing which you are going to add it, and the blue thing is the one which is already present. So you can see this and note down as you are doing. So C drive, program files, Intel, one API, compiler, 2023, environment, vars.bat. So how to get this is, as I have mentioned before, you can go to the C drive, go to program files 86, and then go to the Intel, go to the one API, compiler, 2023, environment, and vars.bat. So you have this file, right click this, you can have the copy as path. Okay. So once I have done this, again I'm going to go to ABAQUS CAE, right click, open file location, and now I'm going to go to properties. Let me say that I'm going to remove this. So this is what you will have already. So just copy paste that path. So you'll have this. Now what you are additionally going to do, give the space, type Intel 64, again give the space, type VS 2022, again give the space, give the ampersand symbol, and again give the space, and now you are going to click the apply. So this I'm not going to just close it because I've already done this. So just I'm closing it. So I'm just demonstrating for you. So this is the sequence. So copy the path, give the space, then type Intel 64, again give the space, give VS 222, again give the space, type the ampersand symbol, again give the space, and then leave it and click the apply. So as I have mentioned here in this note, the text in the red is to be added to the pre-existing text in the target, which is in blue. So same thing you have to do for additionally for the command and the verification also. So again, if I want to demonstrate it, go to the command, click the right click, go to the properties. So if you see here, the same thing I would have done. If I would have removed this, this is what you will have already. So I'm just repasting. So again, that vars.bat, then you have the space, then Intel 64, then space, then VS 2022, then space, and the ampersand symbol, again space, and then the pre-existing target. So same thing you are going to do for the ABAQUS verification also. So if you see here, so this thing up to this .bat Intel 64 VS 2022, and so this is what you will have previously. Now if I repaste it, this is what it is going to be, and you have to click apply, and then this is the procedure for linking. So once this is done, the last thing what you have to do is you have to go click the ABAQUS command and type ABAQUS 2020 space verify space -all. So this ABAQUS 2020 I have written here because I have installed ABAQUS 2020. I have pre-installed ABAQUS 2020. But if you are having 2021, as I have demonstrated, as it is available in the latest version is available in the PG Senapati HPCE. So you can go for ABAQUS 2021. So in that case, you need to type ABAQUS 2021 instead of 2020. So what you need to do is basically go to the ABAQUS command here, to click on it. So wait for the temp to come. You have to type ABAQUS 2021 for your case. So my case it will be 2020. You have to type space, then you have to type verify, then another space, then hyphen and give all, and have to press the enter. So I'm not pressing enter because I've already verified. So this is what you have to do. You have to type this and press the enter. So you can see that once this you have pressed the enter, the ABAQUS product installation verification will start. So what it will do is it will start to verify each and every module ABAQUS standard. So if you get pass message for ABAQUS standard with user subroutines and ABAQUS explicit with user subroutines as seen here, if you get pass for both the message, then you can be sure that the linking between ABAQUS and the Intel compiler is successful. So to summarize this particular video, I have shown how to install ABAQUS for specifically for IIT Madras students. Then I have shown how to install the Visual Studio, and after that I have shown how to install the Intel Fortran compiler, and lastly I have also shown how to integrate, that is link the ABAQUS with the Intel Fortran compiler. So that is all for this video. So in the subsequent video, we will be seeing some introduction about UMAT. So hope you find this video useful. Thank you.